You been working out?
Yeah. Yeah, coach. Running
okay.
suicides, yep.
Well, I know this guy has. And BD, just take the highlight, man. It's for PG.
Too cool. PG, dippity do, and one, thank you. On the ISO, somebody on the island by itself, excuse me, while I lay this on the reverse side. Yeah, look
Please
at my
describe
hand.
this shot for
And
me.
then please have another one of these.
Oh, Isaac.
Oh,
no.
that's like I call that a snow cone floater.
Snow cone floater. What do you call this step right there?
I call that the Afro beating Euro.
Oh, that's
I call
like the
that-
congas
I
and the
Afro
congas
step.
with the-
I call
oh,
that the
okay.
Afro beating.
There you go, show it to him again. Show it to him again.
So, how you doing? Oh, okay. And you know Russell Westbrook, he's Mr. Triple-Double, and he can't do that without passing to somebody. So, young fella, go get it for him. Amadou Diallo taking advantage of the back door cut, 83-73. Now, Vucevic, he's going to get inside, and if you can't dunk it, try to dunk it and get some good luck in there. Jarian Grant takes it to the hole.
Son of Harvey.
Oh, yeah, and the nephew of Horace. So there we go. I hope we're right and didn't get them mixed up. How about this? Schroder, OKC down 3. Schroder hits the big shot. Russell Westbrook. Coast.
How do you guard that? in
Not the
transition?
ball.
Stop. How do you stop Russell Westbrook in transition, Shaq?
Foul.
You fouling?
You don't.
Hey, George, how about George? The Thunder on a 10-0 run. Schroder, he's getting his man at OKC. He had 18 in the fourth. You want to see 3 of them?
Nice.
He watched it go. Man. And how about
Sauce and Annie, BD?
Yeah, I like this team, man, because they got a lot of that attitude, sauce. They talk trash, and pretty much the whole team is athletic. They're athletic at each and every position.
How about Westbrook? His fourth straight triple-double.
Straight.
Check. I love Westbrook's game, but I hate how he averages more rebounds than some 7-footers out there. That really makes me mad as a big fella.
I mean, listen, he plays with that monster attitude. And the first couple of years we talked about him trying to score. We wanted him to change his game. He's definitely changed his game, but this is how he plays.
Oh, no, he can go. I just wish some big fellas would go in there and rebound. Quit letting the little fella take all the rebounds.
Crucial conflict.
What's up, old dog?
Crucial conflict.
What you say about my mama?
Get up! Oh!
What you say about my mama?
Yeah, Zach LaVine. He said, I'll dunk on you and I'll
He's
step
been having a
out.
great year.
Oh, man,
Shout out
he's
to Zach
improving.
LaVine.
Yeah, coming back off that injury. 49-42 Chicago. How about Napier?
Nice.
Yeah, he says, take that. He goes into halftime. Chicago up 4. How about this? Lloyd Marketing. That's
like
why I
it.
like his. Yeah, I love his game. He'll
I
step
like
up,
this
shoot
kid.
3, dunk on you. But D'Angelo Russell, I mean,
L-Dog.
he's left La La Land. We thought we were going to forget about him, but he's making people remember why he was such a high pick. He has game.
Yeah, I mean, he's in his third, maybe fourth year. He's starting to get comfortable.
Oh,
Anytime
dog.
you're a point guard, you gotta have a little bit more patience.
Ooh,
Russell is proving like
Get a man some minutes.
You know? Oh, that's right. This is your team, Chicago, huh? Is that right? Or I really can't say that's your
Listen,
team?
I am a Chicago fan, so Bears, Bulls, Cubs.
So what are y'all doing as you see the end of the layup? Are y'all going to tank the season? Y'all in the Zion?
I'm trying to understand.
Vic, what is Chicago? What are y'all doing?
Well, we're in a rebuilding phase right now.
But y'all have been since Jordan left.
You mean
We're
a tanking
still
phase? A
looking
tanking
up.
phase or a rebuilding phase?
Both.
Since Jordan left.
Both.
What year
Yeah, I
did
like
Jordan retire?
Levine, we're gonna build
You
around
got good
Levine.
young pieces. What
Jordan
are you doing?
90?
No.
What Jordan retired? 90-something?
That's what we're doing, C-Web?
I'm just saying.
talk about your Detroit
I really
Lions?
don't care if
You
the
wanna go
Bulls
there?
ever
You
win.
wanna talk about
y'all
the
had
Lions?
Jordan all them years?
Okay.
Ooh, that's like the Lakers. Y'all had Kobe, Shaq, Magic, like all these teams with all this.
Luka.
Doncic, Ben Simmons. Oh, there's your man, Lloyd Marketing.
There we go.
There you
Represent
go.
the Bulls.
Represent that tanking.
I
Who's
like
CD?
this kid Shy from the Clippers too. He nice.
Underdog, how do I pronounce that name? He don't know either. Thanks, Underdog. You supposed to help us out on Players Only, man.
Rodions Karuch.
Well, the U.S.
Yeah,
team
Shaq,
got
you missed the
easy names.
international. Say
Tatum.
every name.
De'Aaron
Represent.
Fox,
De'Aaron Fox
my
having
boy
a-
Donovan Mitchell out in Utah.
De'Aaron Fox having an amazing second year.
Shout out to Trey Young, had a great game last night. Young Bagley. That's okay, Shaq.
Hell, anybody, we got somebody choke. Hello, you want me to do the hot
We got CPR on site.
I'm gonna choke me on that ice.
Don't choke him.
Nigga gave me this hard ass ice.
Rodion Caruth.
You don't see me choking, man?
Yeah.
Can I get hit on the back?
C-Web kept going with the highlights.
All them jokes tonight.
Man, Shaq over here dying. See where reading the highlights.
Oh, and how about this?
Go up, scan up.
From one of
scan
my
up.
favorite college teams
Look at that
ever,
cowboy
the
in the Mining Factory.
UNLV Running Rebels.
What is that, velvet?
Oh, yeah.
temptations.
David Ruffin biting. Oh, man.
My bad, G.
Hey, what you say it looked like BD is made out of balloon material?
Yeah, it looked like it did. He went to the store and asked for some balloon. Gotta get some balloon material.
Players only.
Uh-oh.
Playing Shaq choking.
Hey, C-Web still doing the highlights.
Because I thought he was laughing. TK said the show must go on. He was like, just let the show go. He's like, good TV. He'll choke. He'll be all right.
Help a brother out.
My bad, man. My bad. Players only halftime report presented by American Express. Now, usually we don't come in with highlights of the losing team, but the Lakers have been making a run with a few highlights. Ooh. Oh, yeah.
Don't look at him. Don't you look at him.
No, don't look at him. It's a tech.
Don't look at him.
Don't stand over him. Yeah.
Where's Khalifa looking?
You got beads at the end.
Khalifa.
I see you with the beads.
You know. Welcome to Players Only. I'm Chris Webber. We got Shaq, Candace Parker, and my man BD. So what's going on, guys? When you look at the first half of this game, actually we can look at some of these plays. When you see a young team like the Lakers and they don't have LeBron James there, Candace, and you see the start of a game like this, if you're the coach or a teammate, what do you say to your players and why is this going on?
Well, this looks like a team that hasn't had a ball handler with them. I mean, Rajon Rondo missed time, Lonzo Ball's out with an ankle injury, LeBron's been out for 16 games. So when the head of your offense has been out, you know, you're gonna turn the ball over. But they were just giving the ball away.
I'd have to disagree with my good friend Candace. This right here is just a lack of focus because after we get rid of these highlights, we're going to show highlights when they start focusing, they start making the plays.
No, I
we're
agree
all
too.
professional, we all can play, and all coaches say the same thing. You guys are just not, listen, you're playing against the 76ers. LeBron's not out. Some of these guys should be auditioning because when they come back, they're going to have to start tightening it up. A trade might be made. You know, so guys need to start auditioning and playing out. That right there was just a lack of focus. First play of the game, you can't turn it over.
I wanted to say, like, could it be the lack of focus? Could that be because of all the stuff that we're hearing today, right?
Right.
With, you know, the Anthony Davis trade rumors and, you know, them getting off to a slow start. When you have a young team like that, usually they're in their head, right?
Because they think they're going to be traded.
Yeah, it's like you showing up to
And
the
that's
game.
why you're
you know-
supposed to step up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You
you're
showing
right.
up-
Yeah, to show I'm next.
Yeah, you got to step
No,
up.
that's not the way you start. But I think as they got into the flow, they kind of, you know, when you start playing, you kind of lose that mentality. You got to get back to playing basketball.
But could it also be that the ball's in the wrong people's hands? I mean, you see Josh Hart with the ball in his hands trying to make plays as opposed to, you know, these guys are used to having made finishing plays and not having to make them.
I mean, but they're down, they're playing in L.A., and we all know how the L.A. fans are. They're getting back in the game right there. Mike Penberthy with the two-handed jam.
Doing it on the
They're starting to
defensive
come out,
end.
yeah, and they're a little bit more focused.
And the fact, let me ask you
Playing
something,
with great
Shaq.
energy.
Shaq, you played in two cities that were temptations for teammates, and that was Miami and the Lakers. Did the great Lakers team ever say, this team is coming in tonight, or did you say, this team is coming in tonight? I know that they went out last night. We need to start early and get off to a 10-point lead because then they won't come back. Or in Miami, both places temptations for players.
It also depends on your plan. When you're playing against a great team that really has championship aspirations, like you guys never went out. So like we would definitely worry about y'all. But the young teams, we know they was going out. You know how I knew? 'Cause when I went out, I saw. So I knew who was out and who wasn't out. And you know, the Lakers again, they were not mentally ready. And you know, once the crowd started getting into the game and LeBron started talking and you know, making faces and stuff like that, their concentration and their focus was a little bit better, and they're starting to get back in the game. But, you know, Philly cannot lose this game today.
Yeah.
Against the LeBron-less Lakers, you got to get that win.
C-Web, you're not going to put Cleveland in that mix of
Going out late at
cities?
night?
Nobody went out in
No, they
Cleveland?
went to the movies.
Okay, my bad.
Listen,
Coaches love Cleveland. Like, I see at 6 o'clock practice, they're like, all right, all right.
You go out in Cleveland and go right to the airport.
Listen, one time, I was living in Cleveland.
Sorry,
went out
Cleveland.
3 times and
I
I
live
didn't see nothing. They ain't even had no
Hey,
hookah bar.
did you see them midgets? They had things called midgets in
Midgets?
Cleveland.
What's that?
They like a million gnats. It was like a million gnats just hanging on buildings. That was the most interesting thing I seen in Cleveland. Midgets.
He do look like Will
Yeah,
Smith.
he look like Tiger too.
Tiger with the dunk.
A little bit with him.
He do look like Wiz.
Oh man. We'll be back
Add it up,
more
ain't you,
in a
boy?
minute on the American Express halftime report. We'll tell you who more people look like. We know all their twins.
I never seen you out when these in LA.
Welcome back to Players Only, Mr. Vegas. I hope you are listening, GA. Matter of fact, I know you are. I just want to throw a couple things out to you, GA. Barry Davis.
got a button now.
Hold on, GA.
We got a button.
Yeah, hold on. Barry Davis said you look like the black man on the penny that got rejected. Barry Davis said you cut your suit coat out of a car of an old pimp Cadillac.
And Candace said you look like a Rick James backup singer. Give it to me, baby. Give it to me, baby.
Hey, Jimmy, why you laughing so hard, Jimmy?
Wait a minute, Candace. I know C. Webb that caught a few comments tonight.
Oh, they've been killing me. That's why I'm glad they killing you, because Candace said you trying to join the NFL Hall of Fame.
Hey, he got that pimp cushion. He got that pimp cushion jacket on.
Is that velvet?
Hey, you have to have left this to me, and it will.
Golden ticket. Thank you for wearing that outfit, GA. You let me get away with this turtleneck, and I'm hot in the studio.
Hey, GA, don't let him talk you out of that, dog. Bring that one out.
Hold on.
I ain't worried about
This
it.
next time, don't do the red pinstripes
I got
with
a
it.
maroon with next
And wear
week.
that vest. You know it's a vest with that.
I ain't wearing a vest this time. I'm going to have a maroon with
You
next
look like
week.
a gold sugar cane.
The LA Lakers begin the night 9th in the Western Conference, 6-10 since LeBron James went down. Currently just a game and a half back of the, not even cross town. They're co-tenants. The LA Clippers. They're at Staples Center. That's where we find Sean Powell from NBA.com ahead of the Laker Philadelphia 76er game tonight. Hello, Sean. Good to have you with us as always. First off, the Pelicans obviously will have final say where Anthony Davis goes if and when they trade him. But it is widely assumed that Rich Paul, the agent that AD shares with LeBron James, is orchestrating a move to the Lakers. How deep does Davis mania run in Los Angeles right now?
Well, people here are understandably excited, none of which, by the way, is being expressed by the Lakers because that would be tampering, right?
Of course, we can't
and
have
so
that.
they don't want to give that kind of appearance, so it's kind of muted. But, you know, I wonder about how much of a distraction it is for Lonzo Ball, Kyle Kuzma, Brandon Ingram. I mean, they don't know next week, are they going to be passing the ball to LeBron James or Etuan Moore? I mean, these are young players who figured that they'd be part of the Laker near future and maybe distant future because, you know, all along, you know, they were being groomed to support LeBron James. And all of a sudden, it looks like the Lakers have veered over into the express lane.
Right.
And you wonder whether or not they're going to sacrifice some of their youth for Anthony Davis. I can't see how they can't.
And already you've got Lonzo Ball's people getting out to the media that he would prefer to go to a team without an established point guard. Everybody's jumping into the middle of this thing. LeBron James will miss his 17th straight game tonight. Two-part question here. How close is he to coming back? He's been practicing for a few days now. And secondly, what do the Lakers feel like they've learned about some of these other young players who they saw a lot the last couple of seasons but have had a chance to see over this extended run without the king on the floor?
Well, LeBron will probably return for the Clippers. I mean, he's been back. His practices have been limited. He had limited contact in his last practice, but, you know, reported no pain or anything that would give the Lakers any kind of indication that he's not on the right path. I would think that playing against the Clippers would be a good warm-up for the next game, which is going to be in Oakland against the Warriors. Of course, that's where this terror happened in the first place on Christmas Day when he got hurt. But as far as the young players, I think it's been a mixed bag. You know, suddenly the Lakers see they have a good young center in Zubac. I mean, he's played very well for them. Brandon Ingram has, you know, been hot and cold. Lonzo, of course, got hurt, so we don't really know the complete picture there. And Kyle Kuzma has done well as far as being a primary scorer. But again, I mean, you know, when LeBron comes back, that changes everything. So whatever they saw without LeBron really doesn't mean that much because when LeBron comes back, he goes back to controlling the ball, and all of a sudden the system is different.
Sean, Philadelphia is a team that actually benefited from a superstar asking to be traded. They traded some young depth to get into that situation with Jimmy Butler. How are they feeling now about the fit of Jimmy and Joel, and what does it sound like for them in terms of just their progress to this point?
I would say it's probably still a work in progress. You know, everyone's still trying to figure out their roles. I know Jimmy Butler had that little hiccup there where, you know, he had to talk to the coach about his role. And all this is, you know, ongoing. But the good news is that they still have another 25, 30 games to get it really right. I think they have a lot of confidence going into the post-All-Star break. They feel that there is cohesion. Of course, you know, once the playoffs begin and, you know, you get into a little bit of trouble and then all that goes out the window. But I think right now that the Sixers feel good about themselves. I think they would love to have an additional shooter. Now, whether or not they can pull something like that off at the trade deadline without parting with any of their nucleus remains to be seen. But I think when you look at this team right now, if they would just have another shooter on the floor like they had last season, then, you know, I think that they'd be something to, you know, a team to watch.
I remember last year they picked up Marco Bellinelli and Ersan Ilyasova, both stretch guys for virtually nothing as just buyout guys. Unlikely to be able to do that 2 years in a row. Sean Powell with us from Los Angeles ahead of the 76ers and Lakers. Appreciate the time, Sean. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Guys, take me into the Laker locker room with all these young players who are obviously potential trade targets now with this Anthony Davis thing out there, whether it's next week, over the summer, etc. You know, it's easy to say, you know, it's a part of the game, it's a business, etc. But these are a lot of young guys who haven't been through this before.
I honestly believe that there were X number of players in that locker room that never gave a thought for a while that this could ever happen. I mean, they were on the Lakers. Wow, I'm with the Los Angeles Lakers. And then, wow, LeBron's here and he wins championships.
Right.
I have a chance to be on a run. And think about them. If their agents didn't caution them, they may have invested in a home in the LA area, thinking I'm going to be here the next 3, 4, 5 years for sure. And now all of a sudden the reality of this comes out when they're looking and seeing all the packages that people are putting together and, uh-oh, that's my name in there.
Right.
I could be out of here. Hits you all of a sudden, doesn't it?
Yeah, you know, it's fascinating. I actually think because so many of those kids have agents that would have explained to them that the timeline has changed once LeBron got there, to some degree, many of them have probably been waiting for the other shoe to drop. And I think it's possible that this is something that doesn't take them by surprise. I think it's something that many of them have realized is a possibility. And what's been significant for them, I think, is because of LeBron's absence, and you talked about this with Sean, they've been able to do what they do a little bit more and have sort of a freedom out there that they can just go play and every possession isn't going to be judged. I think it's easier to play in that environment. So they've gotten to showcase themselves a little bit. I think Lonzo Ball's camp coming out with word that he would not be comfortable in a certain situation speaks to the fact that this is a topic in that locker room and has been for quite some time.
And by the way, that's just the camp getting ahead of things and doing its job, right? You signal to whoever who's listening.
Sure.
Would like to go here, would not like to go there as
in
much.
a matter of speaking.
It may or may not actually work, but it's worth a shot. Drew Holiday and the Pelicans getting set to go against the Rockets in Houston at the top of the hour on TNT.